There's a pretty large chasm between commitment and dedication. Most people don't seem to understand that. Anybody who knows me or has watched our show enough times knows that one of my main tenets that I teach is time, effort, consistency, and a willingness to suffer. If you are capable of putting in time, effort, consistency, you can gain mastery over time in regardless of which endeavor you decide to apply yourself. If you have the ability to add a willingness to suffer, then you can reach legendary status. There's plenty of examples that I'm not going to go into that prove my point is correct. My thing was I was in the gym with this guy, and I've known him for about 2 years, and he just recently told me, we were talking about working out, and he was like, man, I'm dedicated to this. And I was like, no, you are not. And he was kind of shocked. He was like, yeah, I am a mirror all the time. I'm like, yeah, you are committed to this, but you are not dedicated to this. So commitment comes with time and consistency. And he definitely puts that in. It is very rare for him to fall less than 5 days in the gym on a weekly basis. Very rarely will he usually hits 6. He very rarely goes below 5. So he is committed to it. He's there, puts in the time. He's there for like 2 hours, 5 to 6 days a week as an average. And so he puts in the time and the consistency. The problem is I've known this man for 2 years in the gym, and 2 years later, he looks identical to the way he did when I met him 2 years ago. And he is not in a great condition. He's not in horrible condition, but he got a little, stomach going, and he's not got a lot of muscle definition or anything like that. He looks like he has a dad bod by all means. If you saw this man walking down the street, you would not think, damn, that fool goes to the gym a lot. You wouldn't think that. Now, he's not the only one. I'm surrounded by people in the gym that I've known for years now, and many of them look identical or very close to the same they did when I met them or when I first saw them in my gym. Now, that's because they have commitment. They have committed themselves to it. They're there all the time. They put in the time and the consistency. The problem is they're not putting in real effort, and they damn sure are not putting in a willingness to suffer. So real effort is when you go in there, not only are you working out, you are making sure to apply yourself and push yourself to your limits and then just pass on a regular basis. More often than not, you will push yourself as close to your limits as possible, and randomly and regularly, you will try to push yourself to your limits and then just a little past. That is that's the effort that you need to put in, but most people don't do that. They go there, they lift a few things, they move around, they go from one thing. Now, I am a social lion in the gym. Do not get me wrong. I am not saying that you cannot have conversations while you're in the gym. I am proof positive that you can go to the gym, also treat it as somewhat of a social hour, and still get your work in and still gain the gains and put in the effort that you're supposed to. The opposite, the full spectrum of that, the willingness to suffer, that means your diet is on point. That means if your cardio needs to be kicked up, or if you're not doing cardio, you start doing cardio. You kick up your cardio. That means the areas that your body is lagging behind in, for most people, it's stuff like calves and abs. They never do calves, they never do abs. Lots of people don't do legs. I know a couple of guys in my gym, man, these dudes, they have an excellent foundation. From the day I met them, they had an excellent foundation. They never fucking do legs, and they even still look the same as they did when I first met them. And one of them, he's become a police officer, and he still hasn't put his shit together. He still looks almost identical to the day I met him, which was like 3 years ago now. So the difference between commitment and dedication is a large chasm. And just because you are committed to something doesn't mean that you're dedicated to it. Now, in my personal opinion, you should not commit yourself to anything that you are not willing to be dedicated to. So you need to be willing to put the time, effort, consistency, and a willingness to suffer to the things that you want to be dedicated to, that you want to be committed to. Too many people are committing themselves to things and then not being willing to dedicate themselves to it. And that doesn't make any sense. There's no reason for you to be going to the gym for 2, 3, 5, 10 years and never have the physique that you actually want. That is, if you are going to the gym for 3 years straight and are serious, you should be close as fuck to the dream body that you want. Unless you started from so far away. If you started at 600 pounds, okay, 3 years, probably not enough. You just have a lot of work to do to get back to the baseline. But anything other than the outside extremes, anorexia and like beyond morbidly obese, I don't know what the other side of morbidly obese is. If you're anywhere in the middle, like an average normal human being, and you've been going to the gym for 3 years, you should be very close to the dream body you've always wanted. You should be very, very, very close. Now, if you have other goals where you're talking about being like extraordinarily strong, picking up massive numbers in weight, then yeah, that's gonna take a little bit longer. But if you've been going to the gym for 5 years or anywhere near 5 years and you don't have your dream body, you are not dedicated to that thing. You are not doing what you're supposed to be doing in order to make sure that the commitment that you're giving that thing is worth the effort that you're actually doing. You're not doing it. You're not giving up drinking. You're not giving up eating extra fucking burritos. You're not making sure you're getting enough sleep. You're not making sure that your diet is just on point in general. You're not doing all the extra things that take you from committed to dedicated. There's no reason to be committing yourself to things that you're not going to dedicate yourself to. That doesn't just apply to the gym. It applies to everything in life. You want to start a business, you want to get rich, don't commit yourself to it and then don't be dedicated to it. There's no point. You're never going to get to where you're fucking going to try to go. You're never going to get there. It's going to be such a long fucking trip. And the universe, it reciprocates the amount of energy that you put in. How fast and how hard you work towards your goals is how fast and how hard they move towards you. If you're only committed, but you're not dedicated, man, that shit's always gonna be on the other side of your reach. It's gonna stay there. It's gonna be a very long time before you even get fucking close. Same thing for a relationship. Why are you committed to a relationship that you're not willing to be dedicated to? And that is all relationships, not just a sexual relationship or an intimate, not just an intimate relationship, but like friendships, partnerships, all of these things. Why commit yourself if you're not gonna be dedicated? There is a massive difference between dedication and commitment. Commitment and dedication. And you should recognize that those things are not the same. Stop committing yourself to things that you're not willing to be dedicated in. It's time, effort, consistency, and a willingness to suffer. At the very least, you need the top three: time, effort, consistency in anything that you're trying to apply yourself to. So if you're gonna be committed to something, you need to be putting in the effort to go along with the time and the consistency. If you are really dead serious about this, you also need to be applying a willingness to suffer. Good luck.